Deshaan Lore, Part 2. Kwama Mining for Fun and Profit by Dorian Redas, House Lalu. Developing and maintaining a Kwama mine can be rewarding, but more importantly, a lucrative prospect, provided one takes time to learn about Kwama and their environmental requirements. Kwama are giant insects that live and work in underground colonies called egg mines. Although egg mines provide the primary source of income for any Kwama mine, they are by no means the only product produced in the mine. Kwama cattle, scrib jelly, and scrib jerky all provide additional sources of revenue for a Kwama mine. To start a Kwama mine, 1A, find and tame a wild Kwama colony, difficult, or 1B, purchase excess Kwama from a crowded mine, expensive. 2. Live near the colony until you smell like Kwama. 3. Never approach the Kwama queen chamber. 4. Gather eggs, collect cattle. 5. Profit. Despite the name, a Kwama mine consists of living creatures. With judicious yet unobtrusive maintenance, a moderately sized mine can produce an abundance of valuable Kwama eggs. Kwama mines can also produce tasty scrib jerky, acidic scrib jelly, and Kwama cattle, which is highly valued by alchemists. The Kwama colony. The road to owning a profitable mining concern starts with a healthy Kwama queen and a full complement of workers. The queen produces eggs in the deepest recesses of the mine. Kwama workers care for the eggs, moving them to various tunnels and chambers within the mine according to space requirements, environmental conditions, and the development state of the eggs. Kwama workers also produce food for the mine, feed and clean the queen, and expand the mine complex as the colony grows. When not tending to their usual duties, workers can be seen digging new chambers and tunnels within the ever-growing labyrinth of the mine. Workers tend to be docile but can turn violent if threatened or attacked, or if the queen is in danger. Kwama warriors protect the colony, reacting quickly to any perceived danger. They should be treated warily and with respect, for they are aggressive and highly dangerous. While workers and quadrupeds, warriors are bipedal and very powerful. Scribs, as the miners call the juvenile Kwama, roam freely through the Kwama colony. A mine usually splits the scribs into herds in 2 camps, those that are allowed to grow into workers or warriors, and those that are harvested while still young for jelly and jerky. Scrib jelly has a variety of uses, including as a food source, but it is prized by alchemists as a key ingredient to create potions that cure disease. Scrib jerky, made by drying thin slices of scrib meat, has minor restorative properties and is considered to be quite delicious by dark elf culinary experts. Starting a Kwama mine. Assuming you don't want to pay the exorbitant fees associated with purchasing a queen and Kwama from an established mine, you will need to locate and tame a wild colony. This approach isn't without cost. However, as House Lalu requires would-be mining operators to purchase a license before hunting for a wild colony in earnest, when you locate a potential colony, you can't simply walk in and set up shop. The colony's aggressive warriors would make short work of you or miners. There is a solution: acclimation. The acclimation process takes time, but injury and loss of life of both colony members and miners can be minimized by letting the colony slowly become familiar and comfortable with your presence. Once your miners acquire the smell of the local Kwama, the warriors will consider them to be part of the colony. Egg harvesting. The actual mining of a Kwama egg doesn't require a great deal of skill. Miners basically need only patience and common sense to perform their job. Egg harvesting must be done with an eye towards balance. Remove too many eggs and you may agitate the workers and the queen. Remove too few and the queen's egg production may fall. The mine manager must keep careful eye on production to ensure that the queen does not produce too many or too few eggs. Wild swings in production will affect profits and make planning more difficult and should be avoided. Avoid the Queen's chamber at all times. Warriors and workers will view any approach to the Queen as a threat and react accordingly. Production can grind to a halt as the colony becomes agitated and the miners can't safely enter the mine. You might lose a few miners as the colony rampages, but the most important thing to remember is that Kwama will eventually calm down and once again accept the presence of the miners. Note: House Lalu egg mining licenses require miners to provide regular production reports. Failure to comply can result in sanctions, fines, or even closure of the mine, and that's neither fun nor profitable. Legend of the Ghost Snake. Observation on the Mabragash from the Journals of Baranon the Wanderer, 2nd Era, 568. In Deshaan, I encountered a strange tribe of dark elf ashlanders. They call themselves the Mabragash. Unlike their Vardenfell brethren, this tribe is not nomadic and appears to have settled in an isolated region of Deshaan, a location they call the Vale of the Ghost Snake. I believe they have concocted the story of the perilous ghost snake to discourage outsiders from lingering too long in their village. Although, frankly, their rudeness, which rivals that of the more civilized dark elves I have ever met, is more than enough to drive outsiders away. However, my curiosity about this isolated tribe steeled me against their attitude. I remained nearby for a time, watching them and recording my observations. Forthwith, here are my findings on the Mabragash. The Mabragash do not welcome visitors. The Mabragash appear to be a matrilineal society, and their females are definitely more dominant than the males. They also seem to outnumber the males by a factor of 3 or 4 to 1. I wouldn't say this society hates males, but they certainly don't trust them or like them very much, at least as far as I can tell. They claim a ghost snake gives them advice and watches over the Vale. I believe that this so-called ghost snake is to scare visitors away and to keep the village population in line. It appears they sacrifice their own tribe members to this mythical deity. The tribe elders encourage trials to honor this ghost snake, and many of these end in the death of the participants. Here is the legend of the ghost snake, as it was told to me by a charming little lady of some 6 or 7 years of age. She approached me with absolutely no fear or hesitation, and she asked me why I was being so creepy and watching them all the time. At least that was the gist of it. My understanding of the Mabragash dialect is rudimentary at best. I deflected her question with one of my own. "What is this ghost snake I keep hearing about?" I asked her. "Follow the coiled path and you'll find out," she replied with a little bat of her cute little eyelids. "The ghost snake offers advice and protection as long as we care for the Vale," she continued. "Everyone knows that." She went on to tell me that the ghost snake was the combined spiritual essence of the tribe's female ancestors, given spectral form by the belief and respect of the living tribe members, or that it was a creepy dead snake that liked to haunt the Vale and eat innocent Mabragash children. She spoke very fast, and as I've said before, my mastery of the dialect was far from perfect. From an economic perspective, the tribe crafts unique snakeskin leather. They use this leather for everything, from clothing to packs to simple armor. They are, however, unwilling to sell or trade this wonderful material to outsiders, even to the men of their own tribe. Everyone involved could make a fortune if the Mabragash could be convinced to open trade with the outside world. I met a Mabragash scout on patrol, and she threatened to toss me to the ghosts and serpents on the coiled path. Fortunately, my speed and tree climbing skills far exceeded her, so I was able to avoid this savage ceremonial rite. Additional observation leads me to conclude that the tribe subsists on a diet primarily consisting of snake meat. This may contribute to their uncontrollably hostile demeanor. After several days camping nearby and continuing my observations, a rather fearsome Mabragash warrior visited me. He said he was the Gulkhan. He said the only reason they had not simply tossed me to the serpents within the Vale was that the Farseer labelled me a hapless idiot. I'm sure I missed something in the translation of the message. When I asked to meet with the Farseer, the Gulkhan's hand seemed to tighten on the hilt of his rather nasty-looking sword that hung by his side. It was then I decided that my time among the Mabragash had come to an end. Annotation from Nurus Rallor, Tribunal Scholar Priest, Mournhold, 2nd Era, 576. This utterly ludicrous observation was found abandoned near the border to Stonefall some years ago. The Bosma chronicler Boronon does not appear to have the wit of a 5-year-old child when it comes to accurately recording unusual events or peoples. He resorts to making things up or taking wild leaps of logic to come to his so-called conclusions. This document has been preserved within Tribunal Library and copies have been distributed, as he at least did conduct some conversations with the Mabragash, and information on this tribe remains scarce. Sanctioned Murder. From the Journal of Muljar Viran. For as long as I can remember, my life has been devoted to one thing: taking the lives of others. These were not random killings. Only those who fell afoul of the law, who wronged the houses of Morrowind, or who desecrated the sacred teachings of the Tribunal were fair game. Their lives were mine to take, given to me, you might say, because they deserved to die. And I was very good at killing. My victims were mostly unaware that I was coming for them. Some knew they'd been wronged others, murdered an innocent, stole from the houses, even bedded another's lover. But they would always claim they had done nothing wrong, that I was mistaken, that I had the wrong man or woman. And with a blade at a throat, however, it's amazing how honestly and completely one makes a confession. One after the other, I ended them. A swift slice across the throat, the shallow flesh parted, the thin veins severed cleanly. They would try to scream, but they would only choke on the crimson gore that filled their lungs. I delighted in death. It filled me with a pleasure I could find in no other activity. This was my life. This was who I was. People feared me, loved me, and my brothers and sisters pushed us away and then embraced us as the need arose. Some days we were hailed as heroes, others as murderers. Those in power fell to our secret blades, and then those who gave us the orders followed. But there was a mistake, a flaw in our process. We'd grown too perfect. We'd extracted justice from innocent blood. Such is the way. Even with the most clean-cut contract, there's always a chance that the law is wrong, that it made a mistake. The contract never lies, but it isn't always correct either. Even the smallest of actions, harmless as they may seem, can cause a tidal wave of destruction for those following behind. A fool's pride veils his judgment. In a moment of passion, blood scrawled upon a wall says it all. Morag Tong. Those words scream out loud and insistent. They echo through the world, labeling us as ruthless killers that follow no rules, that have no laws. The Tong, always hidden, working in secret, suddenly fell under scrutiny. They wanted to drag us out of the shadows and into the light. We withdrew deeper into the shadows. Our contracts became fewer. Our jobs turned into small tasks. We ran errands for bored house nobles. We endured, and we obeyed. We remained loyal. We swore in our lives to uphold the cause, and we would not turn our backs on it now, no matter the level of difficulty facing us. Even if the world had turned its back on us, we would stay the course. Our leaders whispered to us. They tell us to practice patience. They assure us that the day shall come when our hand of justice once again reaches out to grasp the world. A coming darkness will soon sweep the land, and the Morag Tong once again will be needed, will once again become relevant. But I am old, and my days wind down, and I prepare for my trip to Vonura, and I must pass this mantle to someone younger now, someone less experienced, less wise. My son and daughter will soon take up the dagger, but they have not seen our greatness. They must forge a new path for the Morag Tong. The darkness of war comes, and no one shall be spared from its wrath. The Morag Tong must put aside the wrongs it has endured. We must be ready. I hope you've been enjoying these lore readings, and if you have, please do consider subscribing to the channel. Also, come follow me over on twitch.tv/ICYIC, where I stream the Elder Scrolls Online 4 days a week. I'd love to see you there. Thanks for watching.